What if I told you that 1 spoon of olive oil before fasting could literally double your body's ability to clean out damaged cells, slow aging, and even reverse the early signs of diabetes? Sounds dramatic? It is. Because most of us are not dying from bad luck or bad genes. We're dying from the way we eat, the way we stress, and the way we live. And the solution might be far simpler than you think. Let's be honest. Most people today are eating themselves sick. Constant snacking, sugar hiding in every corner, processed food designed to hook your taste buds, and we call it normal life. But here's the shocking truth. This so-called normal lifestyle is the perfect recipe for insulin resistance, the silent condition behind obesity, fatigue, heart disease, and even brain fog. It doesn't strike like lightning. It creeps up like a thief in the night. Now here's the twist. Your body already has the medicine inside it. It's called autophagy. Your built-in repair system, the natural process that scrubs away damaged cells, toxins, and metabolic junk. But here's the problem. Most people never activate it because they never stop eating long enough for it to kick in. Think about it. When was the last time you gave your body a real break? Not a coffee break. Not a Netflix binge. A real break from digestion. We live in a world of constant input. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, late night snack. We're grazing like stressed out cattle, and our bodies are drowning in insulin spikes. And here's the kicker. This is exactly how insulin resistance begins. The more you eat, the less your cells listen to insulin. The less they listen, the more insulin your body produces. And over time, that system breaks down. But science has revealed something extraordinary. When you combine fasting with one simple addition, pure olive oil, something powerful happens. Not only does fasting trigger autophagy, but olive oil supports your gut, curbs hunger, and enhances insulin sensitivity. It's like pressing the turbo button on your body's healing process. And yes, I know what you start thinking. Wait a second, aren't we told olive oil is just for salads and fancy Italian bread dips? Sure, but in this case, it's also a tool for cellular renewal. Here's what we settle uncover in this video. Why constant eating is silently destroying your health. The hidden connection between sugar, stress, and insulin resistance. How fasting unlocks autophagy, the body's natural anti-aging switch. And why 1 spoon of olive oil before fasting might double the benefits. And trust me, this is not about restrictions, suffering, or starving yourself. This is about freedom. Freedom from food addiction. Freedom from inflammation. Freedom from living as a prisoner to cravings and fatigue. Because, let's be real, most of us have been taught the exact opposite. Never skip breakfast, it's the most important meal of the day. Eat 6 small meals to keep your metabolism burning. Right? But if that advice worked, would we really be facing the highest rates of obesity and diabetes in human history? Spoiler alert, no. That advice has failed us. And it's time to unlearn it. So let me ask you, if your body already knows how to heal itself, why aren't we letting it? Why are we constantly interfering with food, stress, and noise? Could the solution to modern disease be not another pill, but simply less? This is where fasting comes in, and olive oil fasting takes it to another level. By the end of this video, you'll understand the science of autophagy in plain, simple terms. Why insulin resistance is the root of so many modern health crises. How olive oil acts like a shield during fasting, protecting your gut and enhancing fat metabolism. And most importantly, how you can start using this ancient practice today to restore balance, energy, and clarity. Because health is not just about avoiding disease, it starts about waking up with energy, thinking with clarity, and living with balance. So, if you're ready to discover how one simple natural practice can reset your health and give your body back the power it already holds, stay with me until the end. Welcome to Dr. Jamnadas' Health and Wisdom, the place where science meets timeless wisdom and where you learn not just how to live longer, but how to live better. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell because every week we explore powerful, practical ways to transform your health and life. Now let's begin. We live in a time where food is not just abundant, it is inescapable. Every corner, every screen, every hour of the day presents an opportunity to eat. Breakfast, snacks, lunch, more snacks, dinner, late night treats. This cycle has become so routine that many of us no longer know what real hunger feels like. Instead of listening to our bodies, we follow the clock, advertisements, or cravings shaped by habit. And while this may feel like comfort or even progress, it comes at a cost. The body never gets to rest. Constant eating forces the digestive system into overdrive, flooding it with calories that often outnumber the energy we use. Over time, this unbroken cycle lays the foundation for imbalance, exhaustion, and disease. The hidden trap of overeating is not just in quantity, but in frequency. Our ancestors did not have the privilege or burden of eating around the clock. Meals were simple, often scarce, and spaced apart. Today, we treat hunger as an emergency and fullness as the goal. But the human body was designed for rhythms of eating and fasting, for cycles of nourishment and pause. When that rhythm is lost, metabolism falters, excess energy turns into fat, insulin levels remain high, and inflammation quietly builds beneath the surface. The tragedy is that this normal modern lifestyle is not normal at all. It is a mismatch between ancient biology and modern abundance. Science reminds us that fasting is not a punishment, but a return to balance. When you stop eating for stretches of time, the body switches from storage mode to repair mode. Insulin drops, fat is mobilized, and cellular cleanup begins through autophagy. Spiritually, fasting has always been a teacher of patience, humility, and discipline. It reminds us that life is not about constant consumption, but about choosing wisely when to take in and when to let go. This balance between eating and pausing, desire and restraint, is the foundation of health, both physical and spiritual. A practical first step is simple: reduce the number of times you eat in a day. Instead of grazing, allow true hunger to guide you. Try finishing your last meal earlier in the evening and letting your body rest overnight without snacks. Drink water or herbal tea when cravings strike, and notice how often your hunger is just boredom or habit. Small adjustments in timing can lead to profound shifts in energy, clarity, and weight. And when we see overeating for what it is, a modern disease of excess, we begin to understand why sugar, the next great trap, is so destructive. Sugar is seductive. It comforts us when we're stressed, rewards us when we're tired, and hides in foods we least expect, from sodas to cereals, sauces to snacks. Sugar has quietly infiltrated our daily lives, but what begins as a quick burst of pleasure often ends in fatigue, cravings, and dependence. Sugar hijacks the brain's reward pathways, making us crave more even as it harms us. And while one sweet bite may feel harmless, the repeated hits of sugar throughout the day create a storm inside the body: spikes in blood glucose, surges in insulin, and inflammation that never rests. The result is not just extra weight, but a slow unraveling of metabolic health. The hidden trap of sugar lies in its disguise. Many people imagine sugar only in desserts, but it is woven into healthy foods: yogurts, granola bars, salad dressings, even bread. The food industry knows that sweetness sells, and so sugar has become the quiet architect of modern disease. Each spoonful may be small, but over months and years the accumulation overwhelms the body. High sugar intake leads to insulin resistance, where cells stop responding properly to insulin's signal. This resistance is the seed of obesity, diabetes, fatty liver, and even cognitive decline. Worse, sugar is addictive. It pulls us into cycles of craving and crash, leaving us tired, irritable, and still hungry. Science confirms what traditional wisdom has long hinted. Balance is broken when sweetness dominates life. Excess sugar inflames the arteries, damages the gut, and feeds disease. Spiritually, the craving for sugar mirrors the craving for constant comfort, an unwillingness to face hunger, stillness, or discomfort. Discipline here is not about denial but about freedom. By stepping back from sugar, we reclaim the ability to taste food as it truly is, to experience energy without artificial highs and lows, and to live without dependence on constant stimulation. Practical wisdom begins with awareness. Start reading labels, noticing not just sugar, but its many disguises: high fructose corn syrup, maltose, dextrose, cane juice. Replace sugary drinks with water, or add lemon for flavor without the crash. Choose whole fruits over fruit juices. Their fiber slows absorption and nourishes rather than harms. Gradually, your taste buds reset, and real food begins to satisfy again. By loosening sugar's grip, we prepare the body and mind for deeper healing. And as sugar fades, we must also confront the processed world it belongs to. Modern foods are not designed to nourish, they are designed to sell. Bright packaging, irresistible flavors, long shelf lives, these are the priorities of the food industry. Unfortunately, the very qualities that make processed foods profitable also make them harmful. Stripped of nutrients, loaded with additives, preservatives, and industrial oils, these foods fill the stomach but starve the cells. And the body, always seeking true nourishment, responds with cravings, leading to a cycle of overconsumption and undernourishment. It is not just that processed foods are empty, it is that they actively inflame the gut, disrupt hormones, and alter the microbiome, the delicate ecosystem that supports immunity and digestion. The trap here is subtle. Processed foods often mimic real food. Chips made from vegetables, cereals fortified with vitamins, protein bars promising health, they appear harmless, even beneficial. But beneath the marketing lies the truth. These are engineered products designed for maximum palatability and minimal cost, not for human flourishing. Artificial flavors trick the senses, while seed oils oxidize and damage cells. Over time, the immune system is overburdened, inflammation becomes chronic, and energy levels collapse. We are left not only physically depleted, but also mentally foggy, unable to distinguish between true hunger and artificial craving. Scientific research shows the consequences clearly. Diets high in processed foods are linked to obesity, heart disease, autoimmune conditions, and even depression. Spiritually, the reliance on artificial food reflects a disconnection from nature and from self. Instead of receiving nourishment as a sacred gift, we consume convenience, trading depth for speed. Mindful living invites us back to simplicity. Meals that are whole, unaltered, and alive. When food is respected, health follows. Discipline here is not about perfection, but about making conscious choices in a world of illusions. Practically, this means shifting gradually toward whole foods. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store where fresh produce, meat, fish, and dairy are found, rather than the aisles of packaged goods. Cook at home more often using simple ingredients that your grandparents would recognize as food. Replace processed oils with olive oil or butter, snacks with nuts or fruit. Each small choice reclaims health and strengthens the body against disease. And once we step out of the processed trap, we begin to see how it all connects to a deeper fire burning within: inflammation. Inflammation is the body's natural defense. When you cut your hand or catch a virus, inflammation rallies your immune system to heal and protect. But in today's world, this ancient defense has turned against us. Instead of short bursts, inflammation has become chronic, like a fire that never goes out. Fueled by overeating, sugar, processed foods, and stress, this hidden flame smolders quietly inside. You may not feel it immediately, but over time it erodes joints, clogs arteries, and even damages brain function. This is why inflammation is called the silent killer. It works in shadows, yet it underlies nearly every major modern disease. The trap here is subtle. Inflammation doesn't always shout. It whispers through fatigue, brain fog, aches, and restless sleep. Most people mistake these signals for aging when in fact they are signs of imbalance. The foods we consume, refined oils, excess sugar, chemical additives, keep the immune system on constant alert, as if under siege. Stress hormones add fuel, keeping the body in fight or flight when it should be resting and repairing. Instead of moments of healing, the body is locked in battle against itself. Science shows that fasting can help extinguish this flame. When the digestive system rests, inflammatory markers drop, autophagy clears damaged cells that fuel the immune system's constant alarm. Spiritually, the fire of inflammation mirrors the fire of anger, stress, and constant desire. Just as the mind burns when restless, the body burns when overloaded. Discipline in food and thought is the water that calms this fire. By learning to pause, we not only cool the body but also quiet the spirit. A practical way forward begins with awareness. Notice how you feel after meals. If fatigue, bloating, or irritability follow, inflammation is at play. Replace processed oils with olive oil, choose whole foods over packaged snacks, and create gaps between meals. Simple steps like these calm the immune system and restore balance. As the fire quiets, energy returns, clarity sharpens, and the body begins to heal. And yet, inflammation is not the only invisible enemy. We must also look at the toxin we carry daily: stress. Stress is not new. Humans have always faced danger and challenge. But unlike our ancestors, whose stress came in short bursts, a predator, a storm, a hunt, our stress today is constant. Emails, deadlines, bills, news, noise. The body's stress hormone, cortisol, was never meant to flow endlessly. Yet, in the modern world, it does. Chronic stress quietly reshapes health. It raises blood sugar, stores fat around the belly, and weakens immunity. It even changes how the brain functions, impairing memory, mood, and sleep. Stress has become not just an emotional burden, but a physical toxin. The trap lies in normalization. We say, "I'm just busy," or "that's life." We carry tension as if it were natural. But biology disagrees. The constant drip of stress hormones pushes the body into imbalance. Blood pressure rises, digestion weakens, and sleep becomes shallow. Over time, this imbalance paves the way for disease. The tragedy is that most of us don't recognize the weight of stress until it breaks us through burnout, illness, or emotional collapse. Science affirms what wisdom traditions have always taught: rest, silence, and stillness are as vital as food and water. Practices like meditation, slow breathing, and mindful walking lower cortisol, reset the nervous system, and restore balance. Spiritually, stress reflects disconnection, living always in the future or past, never in the present. Discipline here means choosing to pause, to breathe, to return to now. By calming the mind, we calm the body. Practical steps are simple yet powerful. Take 5 deep breaths when stress builds, step outside and feel the sun, or set boundaries with screens and work. Create small rituals of stillness: tea without distraction, a short walk without headphones, 5 minutes of silence before sleep. These acts, though small, detox the mind and body from constant urgency, and as stress quiets, we see that health is more than the absence of disease. It is the presence of balance between body and spirit, which brings us naturally to the deeper truth: illness is not only physical but spiritual. Health is not just measured in blood tests or body weight, it is the harmony of body, mind, and spirit. When the mind is restless, the body suffers. When the spirit is neglected, discipline collapses. Many modern illnesses are not just physical, they are reflections of an inner imbalance: anxiety, addiction, compulsive eating. These are not only biochemical but also signs of spiritual hunger. We try to fill the emptiness with food, noise, and constant stimulation, yet the more we consume, the emptier we feel. The hidden trap here is confusion. We mistake cravings for hunger, distraction for rest, entertainment for joy, but none of these nourish the deeper self. This is why so many live with silent suffering, full stomachs yet starving spirits. The body mirrors this confusion through imbalance, overeating, obesity, insomnia, and chronic fatigue. Without inner stillness, no diet or medication can fully heal. The body may be patched, but the root remains unsettled. Both science and wisdom remind us of the power of pause. Just as fasting gives the body space to repair, stillness gives the spirit space to breathe. Mindful living, whether in meditation, prayer, or silent reflection, restores alignment between thought and action, between desire and discipline. The body, relieved from the turbulence of the mind, begins to heal naturally. Fasting thus becomes not just a physical practice, but a spiritual one, teaching us patience, humility, and gratitude. Practical wisdom means creating moments of silence in daily life. Begin the day without a phone, sit quietly for 5 minutes, or give thanks before eating. Recognize hunger for what it is, not always for food, but often for rest, meaning, or connection. As the spirit finds balance, the body responds with strength and clarity, and the simplest way to begin this journey of healing is to rediscover what our ancestors knew well, the forgotten pause of fasting. Fasting is not new. It is as old as humanity itself. Our ancestors fasted because food was not always available. Religious traditions across the world embraced fasting as a way to purify, discipline, and connect with the divine. Yet in modern life, fasting is often misunderstood as starvation, as deprivation, as something unnatural. The truth is the opposite. Fasting is not punishment, but restoration. It is the pause the body desperately needs. The hidden trap of modern eating is the loss of pause. 3 meals a day, plus snacks, plus late-night cravings, this constant feeding never lets the body switch modes. Instead of healing, it is forever digesting. Instead of repairing, it is storing. And so illness arises not from fasting, but from the absence of it. The irony is sharp. In a time of abundance, it is the excess that makes us sick. Science now confirms the wisdom of fasting. After hours without food, insulin levels drop, fat is mobilized, and autophagy begins, cells clearing out damaged parts, recycling waste, and renewing themselves. Inflammation falls, clarity rises, and energy stabilizes. Spiritually, fasting humbles the ego, reminding us that we do not need to consume constantly to survive. It teaches patience, self-control, and gratitude for the simplest nourishment. Fasting is the rhythm our bodies were built for. Practical advice begins gently. Start with 12 to 14 hours between dinner and the next meal. Drink water, tea, or black coffee. As the body adapts, lengthen the fast. Pay attention to how hunger shifts, often fading after the first wave. Combine fasting with real whole foods when eating, so the body is nourished deeply. Do not see fasting as denial, but as a gift, the gift of renewal. And as fasting becomes familiar, we discover the hidden gem within it, autophagy, the body's secret repair system. Autophagy is a word that sounds complex, but its meaning is simple: self-cleaning. It is the process by which your body breaks down old, damaged cells and recycles them into energy. Imagine a city that never collects garbage. Over time, the streets fill, the air pollutes, and life becomes unhealthy. This is what happens inside us when autophagy is never activated. Damaged proteins, malfunctioning cells, and metabolic waste accumulate, quietly aging us from within. The modern trap is that most people rarely enter this cleaning phase. Constant eating keeps insulin high, and high insulin suppresses autophagy. The body stays stuck in storage mode, never shifting into repair. Over decades, the damage shows up as inflammation, arthritis, cancer, and early aging. Yet the answer is not found in medicine bottles but in reawakening what the body already knows how to do. Science confirms the benefits. Fasting for even 16-24 hours begins this cleanup. Longer fasts enhance it even more. Animal studies show that autophagy extends lifespan, while human research links it to lower inflammation, improved immunity, and protection against neurodegenerative diseases. Spiritually, the process mirrors the truth that growth requires letting go. Just as the mind must release old patterns, the body must release old cells. Renewal always comes through cleansing. A practical way to begin is with intermittent fasting. Skip late-night snacks, extend the gap between dinner and breakfast, and allow your body the gift of pause. Support the process with hydration, gentle movement, and whole foods during eating windows. Autophagy is not a quick fix, it is a rhythm of repair woven into our biology, and when we add one ancient ally, olive oil, the power of fasting deepens even further. Olive oil is more than a kitchen staple. It is medicine. For centuries, cultures around the Mediterranean prized it as a source of strength and longevity. Modern science now shows why. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and polyphenols, powerful compounds that fight inflammation, protect the heart, and improve insulin sensitivity. Taken before fasting, it offers a unique benefit. It soothes the gut, curbs hunger, and makes fasting easier without breaking its healing effects. The trap most fall into is fear of fats. For decades, people were told that fat is the enemy, leading to low-fat diets loaded with sugar and chemicals. The result was more obesity, not less. Olive oil defies this myth. It is not the enemy, it is a tool. When consumed in moderation, it stabilizes blood sugar, lowers harmful cholesterol, and even supports the microbiome. The body recognizes it as nourishment, not a burden. Science highlights olive oil's synergy with fasting. Studies show it enhances insulin sensitivity and reduces markers of inflammation. Spiritually, it represents simplicity, one of the most ancient natural sources of energy requiring no processing or additives. Using olive oil during fasting is like extending a hand of support to the body, saying, "Here is gentle fuel to guide you while you repair." A practical step. Before beginning a fast, take a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil. It coats the stomach, eases cravings, and helps the body transition into fat-burning mode. Choose oils that are cold-pressed, dark-bottled, and authentic real olive oil, not diluted imitations. This small act can transform fasting from struggle into ease. And by balancing hunger, it opens the door to reversing one of the greatest threats to modern health, insulin resistance. Insulin is the key that unlocks your cells, allowing sugar from food to enter and fuel your body. But when insulin is constantly triggered by frequent meals, sugary snacks, and processed foods, cells grow numb. They stop listening. The key no longer works. This is insulin resistance, and it lies at the root of obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's. It does not arrive suddenly. It builds quietly year after year until symptoms appear too late. The hidden trap is mistaking symptoms for normal life. Fatigue after meals, constant cravings, stubborn belly fat, these are not signs of aging but warnings of insulin resistance. Most people try to fix them with more snacks, more coffee, more diets, yet the cycle only worsens. The more the body resists insulin, the more insulin it produces, leading to a spiral of imbalance. Science offers hope. Fasting lowers insulin levels, giving cells a chance to reset. Autophagy clears damaged components, while olive oil enhances sensitivity. Studies show that even short fasts improve insulin response and reduce blood sugar levels. Spiritually, insulin resistance is a symbol of disconnection, the body no longer hearing its own signals. Fasting teaches us to listen again, to reset the dialogue between body and nourishment. Practical advice: begin by spacing meals, avoiding constant grazing, replace processed carbohydrates with whole foods, vegetables, proteins, healthy fats. Add fasting windows gradually and use olive oil to support the transition. Over time, your cells relearn how to listen and energy stabilizes. This reset leads to freedom from cravings and clarity of mind, and with insulin balanced, fasting itself becomes not a burden but a path of renewal. Fasting is often misunderstood as deprivation, but in truth, it is a reset, a way of teaching the body to function as it was designed. In the absence of food, insulin drops and the body shifts from burning sugar to burning fat. Energy stabilizes, inflammation decreases, and clarity returns. It is as if the body takes a deep breath, finally able to repair what constant eating interrupts. The modern trap is thinking more is always better. More meals, more snacks, more supplements, yet abundance has brought exhaustion. We feed ourselves endlessly but starve our health. Fasting reminds us that less can be more. It is not a punishment but a gift, allowing the body to restore balance. Science confirms fasting's benefits: improved insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, longer lifespan in animal studies, and even protection against neurodegeneration. Spiritually, fasting symbolizes release. Just as the body lets go of toxins and damaged cells, the mind learns to let go of attachment and craving. Discipline becomes not a chain, but a form of freedom. Practical steps: begin with intermittent fasting, 12 to 16 hours. Let hunger come and go like waves. Often the discomfort is brief. Break fasts with real food, not processed snacks, to nourish deeply. As fasting becomes familiar, extend the window. Notice not just physical changes, but mental clarity, emotional calm, and a sense of control returning. With fasting as a reset, discipline becomes not a restriction, but the doorway to freedom. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people see it as a burden, a cage that limits pleasure and freedom. But true discipline is not chains, it is wings. It is the ability to say no to excess so you can say yes to balance. Without discipline, life becomes slavery to cravings, habits, and impulses. With discipline, you reclaim control of your choices, your health, and your future. The trap of modern living is confusion between freedom and indulgence. We are told freedom is eating whatever we want, whenever we want. Yet this so-called freedom often leads to addiction, whether to sugar, caffeine, screens, or comfort. What feels like liberty becomes imprisonment. The more we consume without restraint, the less strength we have to choose differently. Science and wisdom agree. Self-control is medicine. Studies show that those who practice restraint through fasting, mindful eating, or setting limits enjoy better health, longer lifespans, and greater happiness. Spiritually, discipline is not deprivation but alignment. It means living in harmony with your body's natural rhythms, not against them. When desire is mastered, peace follows. Practical steps are small but powerful. Begin by setting boundaries. Finish your last meal by evening. Say no to one unnecessary snack. Pause before reacting to cravings. Each act of discipline builds strength. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes natural. And when discipline is embraced, even eating transforms from mindless consumption to mindful nourishment, which leads us directly into the practice of mindful eating. Food is more than fuel. It is a sacred gift that connects us to the earth, to culture, and to life itself. Yet in the rush of modern living, meals are swallowed quickly, often while staring at screens, with little thought or gratitude. Mindless eating robs us of satisfaction and encourages excess, leaving us full but unsatisfied. Mindful eating restores the relationship between food and self. The trap here is speed and distraction. Eating in the car, at the desk, in front of the TV, these habits disconnect us from the act of nourishment. We eat quickly, chew poorly, and miss the body's signals of fullness. This not only leads to overeating, but also to digestive problems and emotional emptiness. Science shows that mindful eating improves digestion, reduces overeating, and even lowers stress. Simply by slowing down, chewing thoroughly, and noticing flavors, the body digests better and feels fuller with less food. Spiritually, mindful eating turns a meal into meditation. Each bite becomes gratitude, each flavor a reminder of life's richness. Practical advice: sit down without distractions. Take smaller bites, chew slowly, and place the fork down between mouthfuls. Begin the meal with a moment of thanks for the food, the farmer, the earth. Notice not just taste, but texture, aroma, and how your body responds. Eating this way brings joy, reduces cravings, and nourishes more deeply. And when food is respected, movement becomes its natural companion, restoring energy and flow. The human body was designed to move. Muscles, joints, and bones thrive on activity. Yet modern life chains us to chairs, screens, and cars. Hours of sitting weaken the body, stagnate blood flow, and drain energy. Without movement, even the best diet cannot fully protect health. Movement is not punishment or exercise for vanity, it is medicine. The trap lies in how we see movement. Many believe it must be intense, complicated, or gym-based. This belief discourages action, but movement can be simple: walking, stretching, climbing stairs, or breathing deeply. The body does not demand perfection, it craves consistency. Science proves that regular movement lowers inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and strengthens immunity. It also lifts mood by releasing endorphins, nature's antidepressants. Spiritually, movement is flow, the body's way of joining the rhythm of life. Just as rivers cleanse by flowing, the body heals by moving. Stillness in excess becomes stagnation. Practical steps are within reach of all. Take a short walk after meals, stretch upon waking, breathe deeply during breaks, choose stairs over elevators. These small acts compound over time, restoring vitality and clarity, and as the body moves, it also rests better, because sleep too is medicine. Sleep is not laziness, it is the body's repair workshop where hormones balance, tissues heal, and the mind resets. Yet in modern life, sleep is often sacrificed, traded for late-night work, entertainment, or worry. Without quality sleep, no amount of diet or exercise can fully restore health. The trap is the belief that productivity is more valuable than rest. Many wear sleeplessness like a badge of honor, not realizing it quietly shortens life. Poor sleep disrupts insulin, increases cravings, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging. What we gain in hours, we lose in vitality. Science shows that 7-9 hours of quality sleep strengthens memory, balances metabolism, and lowers inflammation. Spiritually, sleep is surrender, a reminder that control is not ours, and healing requires letting go. In deep rest, body and spirit are renewed. Practical wisdom: create a nightly ritual, dim lights, avoid screens an hour before bed, breathe deeply, and keep a regular sleep schedule. Use the night not as wasted time, but as sacred healing, and when the body is restored, it can face another challenge of modern life: the chemical burden we unknowingly carry. Our ancestors ate food grown in soil, drank water from rivers, and breathed air unpolluted by industry. Today, our environment is saturated with plastics, pesticides, and toxins. Processed foods, artificial lights, and polluted air add to the burden. Over time, these chemicals overwhelm the liver, kidneys, and immune system. The hidden trap is invisibility. Because toxins are often tasteless and unseen, we ignore them, yet their effects, fatigue, hormone disruption, inflammation, build slowly. Combined with poor diet and stress, toxins push the body beyond its limits. Science shows fasting supports detoxification. When digestion rests, the liver and kidneys can focus on cleansing. Autophagy clears damaged components, reducing the toxic load. Spiritually, letting go of toxins mirrors letting go of clutter in life, choosing purity over chaos. simplicity over excess. Practical steps: choose whole foods over packaged, filter water if possible, reduce plastic use, and spend time outdoors in fresh air. Support detox through fasting, hydration, and foods rich in fiber and antioxidants. By lightening the chemical burden, we move closer to living in harmony with the rhythms of nature. Our ancestors lived by the sun. They ate when food was available, fasted when it was not, and rested when darkness fell. Their lives aligned with nature's rhythm. Today, artificial light, constant food, and round-the-clock activity disrupt this harmony. We live out of sync with the natural world, and our health pays the price. The trap lies in thinking modern convenience is always progress. While technology has brought comfort, it has also disconnected us from the cycles that sustained human health for millennia. We stay awake long into the night, eat at all hours, and live in environments far removed from nature. Science shows circadian rhythms, our internal clocks, govern hormones, metabolism, and sleep. Disruption leads to obesity, diabetes, and mood disorders. Spiritually, alignment with nature fosters peace. Rising with the sun, resting with darkness, and eating with moderation anchor us in balance. Practical wisdom: eat meals earlier in the day, sleep in alignment with natural light, and spend time outdoors daily. Reconnect with the earth, walk barefoot, feel the sun, listen to silence. In returning to ancestral rhythm, we restore balance lost in modern living. But ignoring these truths comes at great cost. Many believe illness is fate, but much of it is choice, repeated daily, often unconsciously. Ignoring the signals of fatigue, pain, or imbalance is costly. Pills may mask symptoms, but they do not heal causes. The cost of ignorance is not only in health, but also in freedom, vitality, and joy. The trap is distraction. In the rush of life, we silence warning signs, telling ourselves, "I'm just tired," or "it's nothing." Yet small issues grow into disease. What could be prevented with discipline becomes suffering through neglect. Science proves prevention is more powerful than cure. Fasting, mindful eating, and movement restore balance before disease takes root. Spiritually, ignoring the body mirrors ignoring truth. Healing begins when we listen to the body, to wisdom, to silence. Practical advice: honor your body's signals. Do not dismiss constant fatigue, cravings, or pain. Begin small corrections early. Choose real food, rest, and mindful pauses. The cost of wisdom is discipline. The cost of ignorance is disease. And when we choose the path of wisdom, healing begins. The path to health is not hidden or complicated. It is simple. Eat less often, choose real food, rest deeply, move daily, and live mindfully. Yet simplicity does not mean ease. It requires courage to step away from modern habits and embrace discipline. But the reward is great: renewed energy, clarity, and peace. The trap is looking for shortcuts, pills, quick diets, miracle cures. Yet healing is not a product to buy, it is a lifestyle to live. The body heals not through tricks, but through balance. Science shows lifestyle changes reverse disease more effectively than drugs in many cases. Spiritually, the path of healing is the path of wisdom, harmony, gratitude, and mindful living. It is not about perfection, but about steady steps toward balance. Practical steps: commit to one change at a time. Skip one snack, take one walk, rest 1 hour earlier. Over time, these steps form a path. Healing is not instant, but gradual, like seasons shifting. The key is to begin. And beginning requires compassion, not perfection. Change can feel overwhelming. Many give up because they believe they must change everything at once. But compassion reminds us one step is enough. Healing does not demand perfection. It asks for patience. The trap is harshness. We punish ourselves for failures, compare ourselves to others, and forget that health is a journey. But guilt and shame weaken, compassion strengthens. Science supports small, consistent change. Even modest fasting improves health markers. Even small reductions in sugar, lower inflammation. Spiritually, compassion mirrors kindness to self, just as we would show kindness to others. True discipline is rooted not in cruelty, but in care. Practical advice: start with one small habit. Drink water instead of soda. Walk for 10 minutes daily. Close your eyes in silence for 5 minutes. Celebrate progress, forgive setbacks, and continue. Healing grows from compassion, and with compassion, awakening becomes possible. Respect your body. Respect your life. Live not in slavery to food, stress, and impulse, but in balance, wisdom, and freedom. Your health is not written in fate. It is shaped each day by the choices you make, the discipline you practice, and the respect you give to yourself. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to honor your own journey. Begin with one small change today and let it grow into lasting transformation. And if you found value in this video, please give it a like. It helps more people discover these truths. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful insights on living with health, wisdom, and balance. Together, let's awaken to a life of strength, clarity, and freedom.